they're here in America building the mosque. They can't build them fast enough. They're getting a right to build a mosque and their religious liberty to build a mosque. Well, what will that mean for us to build Baptist churches? I mean, the interfaith dialogue of James White. Someone pointed out Justin Peters talking about Mamdani, the Muslim Marxist mayor, praying, and he said something like disgusting. Someone said on social media, disgusting? No, I'm sorry, Justin. You had your chance. Justin Peters, you had your chance. You're on video. I'm sorry. It's not going away. You're on video saying Islam is not what, Sharam? What did he say, Sharam? Just so people realize I'm not making this up. What did Justin Peters, now who wants to say it's disgusting to see the Muslim prayer of the mayor of New York City, what did he say about Islam and the church in America?
He said Islam is not a threat to the church. Islam is not a threat to any Christian. That's what he said.
And now, can you believe he's now upset and talking how disgusting it is about the mayor, the Muslim Marxist mayor? He has no right. He disqualified himself, low-hanging fruit of Paula White and others, but he wants to lock arms with Calvinist false teachers who want to have an interfaith dialogue and defend it with a Jew-hating, Holocaust-denying, Hitler-defending, jihadi-preaching imam like Yasser Qadi, who had a mosque down the street, right down the street here from my house, my studio, and now he's in Texas building this. Shame on you, Justin. Justin. People are laughing at you, Justin. They are laughing at you, Justin.
Another interesting thing to notate, by the way, the name of this operation was Epic Mosque, and we're going to show that Epic Mosque.
I was going to say really quick, Brandon, we've talked about it times. Where has James White been? He's disappeared, I think, off the face of the planet. Where have these people been when the people of Texas have woken up to Yasser Qadi? You know, Yasser Qadi, who is behind Epic, right? They've been silent. They've been nowhere. And now the people of Texas have had to pick up the torch to say, how do we stop this thing? How do we stop what they're doing? Well, it started by the compromise in the church. It started with the weak-kneed Christian. It started with comments like, Islam is not a threat to the church. What a foolish, ignorant statement. And how about you tell that to all the Christians around the world that have been killed or maimed or prisoned or raped or tortured at the hands of Islam. So yeah, I agree with you. They've disqualified themselves from being able to now whine about Zohran Mamdani or his ilk taking over. You don't get to speak now when you didn't stand when it really counted. So I'm glad you brought that up.
And where is Phil Johnson? Where is Phil Johnson of John MacArthur's Grace to You? Who, by the way, we have hundreds of screenshots of him and his little boys in the mailroom at Grace to You and others, and his little clan around the country. Where are all those hyper-Calvinist Phil Johnson friends, along with Justin Peters, as you say? Where are they now? And why is no one saying, hey, you know what, James White, this is exactly what House and Hadian and Dak were trying to warn about in 2017, and yet, what were they saying? That your story was fake, Usama's story was fake, some of them were saying this. Remember that, Sharam?
Yeah, absolutely. They called us every name under the book, and they failed at their responsibility as shepherds to protect the church, to sound the alarm. What you have done, what this network does, what the incredible people 2017, we were warning about the exact scenario. And I love what you said this morning. I was speaking to a group of men at a prayer breakfast, and ironically, Anija, my topic was on Iran. I set this up 2 months ago. And here, I said, this is the Lord's timing. But I said, the message of the Iranian people. Here we have Wear a Hijab Day. The Iranian women are like, I'm burning a job.
Need the help of the
And we're going to do it one step at a time. I'm going to do it with every breath of my being when I'm in the United States Congress from Texas 32nd Congressional District. But let me tell you, I tell people that, I don't know much about the Crusades. I've studied them, but I knew if they were today, many of the generals and the frontline officers in the Crusades would be of Persian and Iranian descent, because we've endured this Islamic trauma. If there were Crusades today, many of the fighters in the front line would be a Persian, and we are here to make sure that this mistake is not done by the United States or other countries around the world. I've been so humbled, met so many amazing Iranian Americans that have reached out to me, thousands of Iranian Americans, and I get goofy people ask me for all kinds of goofy things when I'm in Congress. They're like, make sure no more text messages when you're in Congress for political ad. Just all kinds of ridiculous. But the Iranian Americans, it's been so humbling. They've all asked me for one thing and one thing only. And some of them have cried when they asked me for this. They said, when you go to the United States Congress, please promise us one thing. You will not let the United States make the same mistakes that Iran did and let itself fall into the hands of these Islamists. Please don't let these crazy Islamists get a foothold in the United States. That's the only campaign promise that I've made Iranian Americans, and that's the only thing they asked me. But the analogy that I think is really important, the Islamists really wanted Iran, not because they cared what religion 90 million people at the time, 50 million people had. All they wanted to get when they wanted to capture Iran, and they did capture Iran, these people that are running Iran, they're Iraqis, they're from India, they're from Syria, they're from anywhere. They're parasites, and they wanted to use Iran's natural resources and trillions of dollars, billions of dollars that they've wasted to use on this stupid idea of the Islamic Caliphate to grow and become leeches and parasites and like the alien predator to take over other countries in the world. And let me tell you, the same playbook, a lot of people are missing why he is there as part of the Muslim Brotherhood. He's not there because the New York City has so much power, he's going to convert everybody to Islam. He's there because the city of New York has $127 billion budget, and he wants to try to steal the city's coffers and use it to get the Democratic Socialists of America to steal every election and try to turn the United States Islamic. The Marxists, the Islamists, the neo-communists, and they've used the LGBTQ, unfortunately, as useful idiots. They're all trying to do this. And let me tell you, if the Islamists ever come into power, they're going to kill off they're going to kill off the Marxists, they're going to kill off the LGBTQ, and they're going to be the most ruthless. And it's the same exact playbook as Iran, and we cannot allow that to happen here. And they're after the budget of New York City, the $127 billion budget. Watch all the shady things that Mamdani is going to try to do, to try to steal money from the coffers of New York City and give it to the DSA.
Yes, and you're always. Can I go first, Shamjan? Or do you need to?
Yeah. Well, no. I was gonna ask you a question because
Who, me?
Brandon mentioned. Yes, you.
Yes.
Brandon mentioned a text. Did you guys by any chance get a text? Both my wife and I this morning get this text from this number that is from the National Iranian American Council.
Yes, NIAC.
NIAC, right?
Yes.
Condemning the U.S. and Israel launch an unprovoked illegal assault on Iran this morning. Dozens of innocent children have already been killed in a strike that hit a girls' school in Minab, and it goes on to say, we're going to vote as early as Monday to remove the war. So were you guys getting this? How did they get our numbers?
Okay, I didn't get it because I have basically blocked all the NIAC numbers that they have ever tried to.
Did I get it working?
Sorry, what?
I did not get it, but I did have two other friends who got the text of what you said. Now, as far as how they got our numbers, first of all, for our audience who may not know who NIAC is, they are literally the official lobbyists of Islamic Republic of Iran here in America. They've been here for a long time. They're not new. Right. And as far as getting our numbers, Shamjan, that's not a hard thing to do. Those of us who are registered for especially